So yeah, as will become clear shortly, I'm not Eni Owusu from I'm Adam Walton, Chief Product Officer there, but I've known Tamara for many years, so I'm very glad that you could join us here today.
Thank you.
So you've been at Premier Inn approaching 3 years now, and prior to that, obviously, you've held various senior positions across a range of travel brands, EasyJet, IHG, Royal Caribbean, to name but a few. But lots of experience, but obviously the last couple of years have been quite unprecedented. I think it's fair to say that the hospitality industry was probably more affected by the pandemic than most. So from a Premier Inn perspective, what have you learned over that time? Just a small question.
Well, I think, I'd only been in business for 3 months and all of a sudden COVID hit. And I think the first lesson we learnt was know where your house keys are. We've got over 800 hotels in the UK. And we didn't know how to lock the doors at some of them because we're open 24/7 and 365 days a year. So all of a sudden there was this massive moment of what do we do and where can we get locksmiths and how can we find out to lock the doors. But we managed it successfully. We closed every single hotel apart from 39 that we agreed with the government that we could keep open for key workers. And we ran those through the first lockdown. But we learned a lot about how to close a hotel and then how to kind of start back up again and reopen the hotels and get ready for that. So lots of learnings in the first few days of lockdown.
And I guess as we emerge from the pandemic or learn to live with COVID, it feels obviously from working with you over that period, you've got a greater understanding of your brand. And I guess what's the role that data's played in that? Can you tell us a little bit about the Rest Easy campaign that you launched during the pandemic?
Yeah, and I think there was so much uncertainty for people as we were coming out about, not feeling comfortable, the uncertainty of travelling again. Will it be safe? What are cleaning standards like? What can I expect? And we've got enviable levels of awareness, like over 90% brand awareness. And when you ask people about Premier Inn, they'll immediately go, great bed, purple, kind of comfort, you know what you're going to get. And I think we found that there was something really important in that we could talk to people about the fact there's this comfort you can count on with Premier Inn, and that coming and staying with us would be a bastion of standards. And we use that as the opportunity to really provide that reassurance to people and this idea that, brands that invest coming out of kind of crisis have a huge role to play. So we literally, as we went into lockdown, we were thinking about how do we get ourselves back out of this. So we were on the phone to you and we were looking for a creative agency, and we set to work straight away about how do we start our recovery and how do we use our brand in order to be able to do that. So we didn't rest on our laurels. We wanted to make sure that we were going to be coming out of the pandemic as strongly as possible.
And was that approach difficult to sell into the business?
Sorry, was it?
Was that approach difficult to sell into the business? Obviously, you talked about the fact that you've had to close, so many hotels and things such as that, and the difficulties you've faced. Obviously, there's a lot of research and data that shows, obviously, as you mentioned, that investing, obviously, in hard times, you come out the other end stronger. How was the business receptive to that message? Yeah,
they were pretty open. I think the biggest kind of question was when do we go? And there was this unknown of, what is the right time? And you had to make a gamble, kind of you're booking media 2-3 months in advance to get the best slots. And, we didn't know when restrictions were going to end. And, the government was always giving us, we don't know exact dates. So we took a gamble on April 21 as being the right time. Thankfully, we got the gamble right. And restrictions finished on the 17th of May. So we came out 4 weeks before the restrictions finished, with starting to build our first brand investment campaign in 4 years. And I think we hit it absolutely right. But it was grounded in the insights that we had from our customer base about reassurance about travel and trying to understand more about the media. But we'd lost kind of great knowledge base because we'd never had to come out of a pandemic. So there was that uncertainty, but thankfully the board were really supportive. They understood about investment, they understood about brands and great brands. And we were able to get the money and their support to kind of launch full pelt.
And going forward, what's going to be, or how are you going to use data to inform the way that you communicate?
Yeah, because we lost 4 years of kind of data from being out of media. We are now working with you guys on the full funnel modelling. So we're starting to get a better understanding about the impact of our media spend, the channels, kind of refining it, what the marketplace is like. And the travel industry is kind of, or the accommodation market has changed so much. So, what were traditional hotel competitors for us 5 years ago are not necessarily the competitors today. So it was really important. We thought about the online travel agents, the booking.coms, the Airbnbs, and these people coming into the marketplace, and huge investment in media, and how we would manage to get a decent share of voice amongst those competitors. So not traditional competitors, but very much kind of the people that we were going up against as we came out of the restrictions. So data's had to lead the way forward for us to think about the right timings, the media, the channels, the reach that we're going for. And, we've got 12 weeks worth of data from last year. We're about to get the next set of insights, and that's going to help hopefully perpetuate, what we do in the next couple of years and how we invest in the next few years.
And I think to build on that, obviously what we're helping you with is understanding both the direct and indirect effective communication throughout the marketing funnel, because obviously it's easy to understand the importance of obviously lower funnel metrics, but I think through obviously the full funnel modelling we've done with you, it highlighted the importance of TV, both in terms of driving those brand metrics and those lower funnel performance metrics as well, hence why we're sort of continuing that investment.
And we're an unusual brand. A lot of the travel industry are hooked on a drug which is called the online travel agent. So most hotel businesses work on commission, and they have multiple distribution channels. We're a direct sell business. We are direct only. So unless you're booking through a travel management company, the only way to book a Premier Inn is on premierin.com. So very different, the importance that we have to play in driving brand awareness, book direct, and putting ourselves out there. So there's even more of a reason why we have to go out there and really promote the brand and invest in brand advertising.
And you just mentioned there about how obviously there's been some changes in category dynamics. I think we all know how the way that society's changed over the past few years have been sort of quite striking. Add to that the cost of living crisis that we're all managing at the moment. Again, how are you utilising data and insight to understand the customer experience and what they expect going forward?
So it's absolutely core to what we do. I run an insights team where we're not just looking at media, but also guest satisfaction, the investment that we have in all of our guest scores, the impact on complaints, how we're looking at kind of customers' reaction to what's going on in the marketplace. We're an incredibly heavy data-led business. Every decision, the way that we look at our rates, the way that we think about product development, the comfort of sleep. Ultimately, everyone kind of talks about Premier Inn and great bed. And we track and monitor the comfort of sleep and how people feel and the degradation of our bed and what's the right point in time that we need to be changing our bed, because people come and stay with us for a great night's sleep, and we need to deliver that great night's sleep. So we do a lot of product research. Every decision in the way that we change carpets, bedding, kind of room design, all of that is grounded in insights and data, and we can test between current design, new design, and we have to sell the sizzle back to the business as to why we want to make those changes and the investment there.
And I guess you're in a unique position in the hospitality category, being obviously the largest hotel chain in the UK. Is there any other sort of learning that you'd like to sort of share with the audience as a final thought?
I think the importance of investing in your brand, as I've talked about, it's so important for us being a direct sell business as to how we portray the brand, the business, the product, the investment in what we do. Never being shy of really pushing investment in our CRM capabilities, lifetime value, really thinking about those customers and what we're doing to keep engaging with them. But then, kind of always thinking a few years ahead. We have nearly 80,000 bedrooms at Premier Inn in the UK alone. We're growing in Germany, and we've got hotels in the Middle East. But change takes time, and it's everything is a big growth rollout program. So kind of keep investing in those insights that are going to kind of get the decisions made that mean that we've got that growth and positivity in the market, and we're always going to be number one, and how we go forward with that.
And then obviously it's been a challenging couple of years, but the business is coming out of it with a positive mindset, yeah?
Well, we had our results today, positive results today on the last year. You know, it has been a hard slog trading in this environment, and particularly, you know, last year a lot of people were staying in the UK, and I think we benefited from the domestic travel market last year. This year it's a little bit more uncertain. I think people want to travel, but we know that we're dealing with the rising cost of inflation, and that's affecting everybody's pocket. And we are a budget brand, but we can't shield ourselves away from inflation. It's going to hit our business as well. And so it's really important that we keep talking about the experience, the price that customers are paying. The prices are going up, but we're keeping a really close eye on how people are perceiving price paid versus satisfaction, and how that's going to influence us and what we're doing. But the market is strong. We're well positioned. We know that other parts of the hospitality market have been quite badly impacted by the pandemic, particularly independents, and a lot of them have had to close. We've been able to use it as an opportunity to grow our estate. We went into the pandemic in Germany with just 4 hotels. Today we have 37 hotels in Germany. We've got another 41 which are in the pipeline, and either acquisitions or we're actually building those hotels. So you know, we're continually investing, understanding the market, the dynamics of the market, in order to be able to grow. So yeah, today's been a positive start to the day, and the results seem to be well received, which is great.
Brilliant. Okay. No, thanks very much, Samara. I hope everyone found that conversation useful.
Thank you.